she thought she was gonna start it. Nah, it's all good. So we're gonna get back into our second part of the show where we want to talk a little bit about future stuff going on. Because Sierra and I were actually just talking about it for a quick moment. Obviously the Lions have a bye week, which I feel like is pretty needed. Allows some
Can't
guys.
come soon enough.
Yeah, I personally I hate early bye weeks, but I mean it's fine. It is what it is. I think that they could use bye weeks a little bit later in the season, so when they really have like a lot of injuries piling up, guys can kind of recoup. But it's fine. I mean they'll allow Brian Branch and
Laporta.
yeah Laporta to kind of heal up a little bit, make sure that everybody's all good. A lot of offense to kind of keep rolling or get into practice and kind of get on scheme and go over some things. So after the bye week though. They're playing the Dallas Cowboys.
Dun
Speaking of the
dun.
refs, what the Cowboys are what 2-2 right now, I think.
Something like that. Let's check it. Something like that.
Yeah, I'm never really worried about the Cowboys. I'm not. I mean, they have a decent team, I guess. Obviously, CD Lamb is kind of like the guy to worry about, but the Cowboys' run game hasn't been much to write home about. Dak Prescott is a good quarterback. He's fine. Nothing too amazing, but I'm just not super worried about the Cowboys. I am worried about outside forces and things like that, per the usual.
Oh yeah.
Um, but should be a good game. I mean, it's definitely a good test because the Cowboys are a decent team. They do have some really good players on defense, obviously. I don't know if Michael Parsons is going to be healthy or not because I think he had an injury his last game. But um, you expecting anything or looking for anything particular from that game?
I'm looking for the referees to make sure that they heard the Lions report eligible.
Would be nice. Would be nice.
I would say because we're playing in Dallas. Dallas doesn't look to be that scary at the moment, in my opinion. I haven't seen anything that has really impressed me. Um, defensively, I don't think they're on the same page.
Yeah, they played what the Giants last week, and I mean
Barely won that. What was it, 10-15 or something?
it was like 17-15 or something.
It was
20.
15-20.
Yeah, yeah,
15
yeah.
20.
Some kind of weird score. And I don't know. I mean, they struggle with Malik Neighbors, and I mean that's really the only good person on the Giants offense. If we're being honest, Daniel Jones is not good. And he just I don't get it. I don't understand. Um, they haven't really had that test. I don't think in the past couple of weeks. They did beat Cleveland, which on the road is actually pretty hard to do, even though Cleveland hasn't looked that good either.
Yeah, they
Um,
don't.
yeah, but I don't know. I mean, Dallas they look fine. They look like a team that could be like a potential wild card team. I guess in their division, Washington is somehow going off.
Yeah,
Philly,
Daniels out there is.
yeah, yeah, he looks good. Cliff Kingsbury he's clearly as an offensive coordinator it works. I don't know about a head coach, but as offensive coordinator it works. He's got that offense rolling right now. Which speaking of offenses rolling, the game after the Cowboys is going to be against the Minnesota Vikings. See, the Minnesota Vikings are 4-0, and could you explain to me how?
I'm gonna go. I like the defense. The defense, in my opinion, I mean those interceptions, they are getting after people. Obviously Justin Jefferson is Justin Jefferson. So far, he looks like the best wide receiver in football. Addison looks good. I mean, I honestly thought that the Vikings would finish third in the division. It's still early. We never know. I did not see a 4-0. But I think we have the better quarterback. We have Goff. They have Darnold. I think we have the better quarterback. I think we have the better running back duo. So I think that would be more so the difference with when we play the Vikings. But I mean, the Vikings look good. I mean, the defense, they look good. They look good. I'm not saying that they're going to go anywhere. I'm not saying they're going to win the division. I still think we're going to win the division. We've only lost one game. They've lost 0. Right now, they are top of the division, but it's only week 4. So, but right now, they look good.
Yeah, I there are a couple of things about the Vikings that really are kind of driving this. It seems like, and I'm not gonna say it's unsustainable. I think that they can. I think they can finish the season with a decent record. I'd be shocked if they like outplay the Lions or have a better record than the Lions by the end of the year. But for one, Sam Darnold looking like a true quarterback. Like, I mean, I feel like he was fine. Like, people were like, okay, he's a decent backup, blah blah blah. Sam Darnold is like has been one of the best quarterbacks in the league so far this year.
Oh yeah.
Um, so to see that is like, if that's sustainable, then them being good is sustainable. If it's not sustainable, then them being good is not sustainable. But as you mentioned, the defense too is a big part of this. And there's this thing in the league where these elite defensive minds really like create like very much structural, like huge change amongst these teams. And Brian Flores as a defensive coordinator,
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, he's got to be the number one guy right now in the league. I mean, there's some guys like Mike McDonald in Seattle, who has Seattle's defense looking good before last night.
Tampa
Jesse
Bay.
Minter, Tampa Bay as well to a certain extent. Jesse Minter and for the Chargers has the Chargers actually looking okay. They almost held Mahomes down for the whole game, but they just couldn't score enough points. There's some really good defensive minds, but Brian Flores has a scheme that just is really, really effective. And it's all based off of confusion. It's about confusing teams. It's about putting a bunch of guys on the line. So they'll have the D lineman on the line, but then they'll put some linebackers up on the line. They'll bring a safety down to the line. They'll literally have like 8 guys lined up, and you don't know where the pressure is coming from. So the D lineman might drop back and the safety might blitz, or they might run more conventional things. I've seen them run some crazy schemes that they will have everybody lined up and somehow get back and play 2 deep safeties. Like, it's insane, and it's a lot of quarterbacks cannot process through what's happening pre-snap, and so they're confused once the play starts, and they have no clue what's going on. That's how you see a lot of these turnovers, you see a lot of these sacks, a lot of these big plays. The only question about that is that going to work against the Lions, where they have an
A deep
elite
threat.
offensive? Yeah, well, deep threats for sure. They have the weapons to make things happen, but they have an elite offensive coordinator who's going to be able to kind of read what's going on and give Jared Goff very specific instructions for how to attack it. And then you have Jared Goff, who is really good at attacking things when he has a good scheme. So I don't know if that's going to work against the Lions. It'll probably get some pressure. I think it'll get them some sacks that might end some drives. But I don't know if they can sustainably hold the Lions down, because individual player wise, like outside of the scheme, they can absolutely not cover the Lions. Like, the players are fine, but the players aren't really what's making the difference. It is 100% the scheme. Isn't coming from an elite defensive mind here, and it's working. It is definitely working right now. Like, quarterbacks are confused. They don't know how to attack it. Jordan Love threw for like 300 something yards and had 4 touchdowns last week, but he also threw 3 picks and he also got sacked some. Those kind of plays put you in a bad position. They put you in a hole. And the
Mm-hmm.
Vikings offense has been decent. It's been good enough to get by. So we'll see. I mean, it might be sustainable. I don't know if it's sustainable against teams like the Lions. I mean, it worked against the 49ers, who kind of are structurally similar to the Lions a little bit on offense. But the Lions have better weapons. They do have better weapons, and they have a better run game as well. So I don't know if it's gonna work against the Lions. I don't.
Yeah. I mean, I'm confident in our offensive coordinator. Um, the Vikings do have a good defense, don't get me wrong, with Flores being able to take down Kyle Shanahan like offensives. That is pretty impressive.
Yeah, very, very impressive. Because Kyle Shanahan, you can call him what you want about him choking games, blowing things in the Super Bowl, whatever. But as an offensive mind, I mean, he turns crap into magic, like, very, very easily. So we'll see. We'll definitely see. But that'll be a very intriguing matchup to see how that Vikings defense holds up in the next couple of weeks, and then how it holds up when they have to face the Lions.
So, besides the Vikings, anybody else you're worried about in the division?
No, and I think I said this before the season. I said I thought Green Bay was overrated.
You
And
did.
I do. Chicago is like trying to find their footing, and I think that they will. But I don't know if it's going to be like a lot of footing. Like I think they'll be fine. I mentioned them being, maybe winning 10 games. And I mean, I think they're 2-2 right now, so they're doing okay. But I think it's going to take a lot of work, or especially on their offense, to kind of figure things out. But I do think Minnesota is going to come a little bit back to earth. I think that Jordan Love started to figure them out a little bit later in that game too. So
Who did the Vikings play next?
I have no idea. No idea.
I want to see if it's a nice. Well, then again,
Let's see. I'm about to look it up now. I have no clue. They are playing. Oh, that's going to be fun. They're playing the Jets.
I got the Vikings.
I don't know, because when we talk about people being able to read and to grasp exactly what they're getting from them, I think Aaron Rodgers is one of those people that can do it. So I don't know. And I think that the Jets defense can also hold them back a little bit. I could see the Jets. I could see the Jets pulling that one off. I could. I think it's on Sunday Night Football too, so I could see them pulling that off.
You think so?
I do. If I had to bet, I would probably put my money on the Jets.
What I've seen so far, I'm gonna put my money on the Vikings. Now, if the Jets can beat the Vikings, okay, that might be a good sign for the Jets. Okay, that might be a good sign again.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The Jets are clearly like a mixed bag right now. They're kind of an enigma. Losing to the Broncos was just whatever, but it was also kind of a rainy mess out there. So it is hard to judge. It's really hard to judge a team like the Jets, where you know that the expectations are high, but they haven't kind of figured things out right now. So we'll see. But I don't know if all the creative pressures and things like that are. Plus, the Jets have a really good running back. Like, I don't know. The Jets should be able to offset those kind of things, but I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we'll see. And then big test also with the Lions. They'll be playing us. But then the Vikings beat the 49ers though, right?
Yeah, they did for the second straight year.
So they've already, beaten a good team.
Oh, for sure.
They've
Yeah,
already.
they're capable. They're definitely capable. I don't know. I think that it just really kind of depends on who you got at quarterback, what kind of individual players you have, if you can kind of overtake them, if you can get one-on-one matchups. But, got to be smart attacking a defense like that. You got to be really smart.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good game. But back to the Cowboys, because we got to play the Cowboys first. Well, I'm getting all excited. Yeah, the Cowboys. I think we should be able to pull it off, like you said. If we don't have too many of these penalties and all this calling touchdowns back. One thing about the referees last week, this week, whatever, they called some touchdowns back. Some games. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah,
I'm not liking it.
Yeah, the officiating is just
it's bad.
It's been bad for so long. It's like I don't even know what to expect anymore. Like I want them to have minimal involvement in the game is the goal. Like minimal involvement.
The Lions game, they had maximum involvement. They called 12 penalties on the Lions, and they called 9 penalties on the Seahawks. I mean,
it's just too much. It's too much. Like let the players play. Like let the players play.
My thing is almost 21 plays. Jesus. I mean, the Lions only have 50 plays. You call 9 penalties, then you got 12 penalties. So 21 plays you involved in.
It's just frustrating.
That's a lot.
It kills the flow of the game. It makes their impact stronger than it needs to be. I really just wish they would not just like stop. But well, who knows? Before we get out of here, though, I do want to give one shout out too. By the way, I know some people have opinions about it, but I want to give a shout out to Jameson Williams.
Of course.
I don't know if you see I saw another Twitter video of him going into L. George's Coney Island and throwing 6 miles Schaefer. I really love seeing like players kind of get involved in like the city and like the community. I know people are like, "Oh, make sure you're being safe," blah blah blah. And I'm J-Mo's from inner city St. Louis. I'd expect that he knows how to move. Like I know he got people with him. He not doing anything kind of reckless or dumb. But I do love seeing just how much sports is changing the community in general. The Tigers making a big difference. The
Shout
Lions,
out to the Tigers in the playoffs, and we won the first game.
one game won somehow by the skin of our teeth, literally. It was great, and to see them, the Tigers, the Lions, like to see them having this impact, is great. And like I said, to see Jameson Williams like kind of be in the community, like talking to people, like really be engaged. He goes to like high school football games, and a lot of guys do a lot of giving back. I know Jared Goff does a lot of giving back and stuff like that. It's just really really good to see, and it's really good to see how sports is kind of creating at least a positive outlet. Like I know it's not changing the city, like as far as structurally, there's a lot that Detroit needs to work on. Of course, we know that very well. But to see just like some hope, some positivity, like some love, is really good to see. I really do love it.
Yeah, to piggyback off that, I saw a comment today. It's so funny you bring up Jameson Williams and him going into Coney Island. I saw a comment today. They said that Jameson Williams is probably the happiest NFL player this season so far. I mean, he is. Like every time he scores a touchdown, every time he gets a big play, I mean, he's up, he's happy, he's jumping. Of course, he hopped in the Lions crowd yesterday after he scored his touchdown. He dunked on the goalpost. I mean, he's dancing after the game when I believe it was Gibbs or St. Brown showed him his touchdown, and he's dancing, and so I like it. I like his energy. I definitely like his energy. They called a penalty on that unsportsmanlike conduct because he dunked the ball on the
They did.
goalpost.
And Jake Bates still nailed the field goal. And he said that he did it because Calvin Johnson used to do that.
Yeah,
So it's kind of an ode to Calvin Johnson, which was cool to see as well. So
referees hate so much, man.
they do.
They always hating.
Always hating. It's crazy. It was funny because I think it was it Taylor Decker or Graham Glasgow. They said that they like after J-Mo scored a touchdown, they was like already on the bench, took their helmet off, was chilling, and they said J-Mo was still out there celebrating. They like, dang, bro, you still going?
Yeah, J-Mo is happy. I like the energy. I mean, he seems like a fun kid.
He's very authentic, very very authentic.
Seems like a fun person to be around. And I like seeing them score touchdowns. I like seeing them celebrate. I like seeing them dance. So continue to dance. Forget the referees. Forget the haters, man. Lions. We coming.
We on the way. So
we on the way. Stop hating.
So we'll take a quick hiatus. We'll be back after the Cowboys game. If that's I don't know if that's a 1 or a 4 o'clock game, I say we go ahead and drop a nice little instant reaction right after if we can.
Oh yeah.
But we will see y'all then. Otherwise, it is peace, love, and hair grease.
Peace. Did the time stop?